Rich Secrets, written and published by Rich Audiobooks. The difference between those who achieve their desires and those who don't often comes down to a single moment: the ask. The wealthy and successful have mastered the art of requesting what they want with unwavering certainty, while others approach opportunities with hesitation and doubt. This certainty stems not from arrogance or entitlement, but from a deep understanding that asking is a natural part of human interaction. When you examine children, you'll notice they ask for what they want without hesitation. They haven't yet learned the social conditioning that makes adults hesitate. The wealthy have managed to retain or reclaim this natural state of directness, while adding sophistication and strategic timing to their approach. The psychology behind confident asking is rooted in how humans perceive and respond to conviction. When someone asks with certainty, they transmit subtle signals that they expect a positive outcome. This expectation creates a psychological framework that makes others more likely to comply. Think of it as a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you truly believe in the legitimacy of your request, others unconsciously align with that belief. Lesson 1. They ask with certainty, not fear. Fear of rejection is the primary obstacle that prevents most people from asking with certainty. However, the wealthy understand that rejection isn't personal, it's simply information. They view each no as valuable feedback that helps refine their approach for the next opportunity. This perspective shift transforms rejection from a threat to a tool for improvement. The wealthy also understand the power of framing. Instead of approaching requests from a position of need, they frame them as mutual opportunities. This subtle shift changes the entire dynamic of the interaction. Rather than asking for a favor, they're proposing an exchange of value. This approach maintains dignity and leverage while increasing the likelihood of a positive response. Timing plays a crucial role in confident asking. The successful know that preparation creates certainty. Before making significant requests, they gather information, understand the other party's position, and identify potential objections. This thorough preparation eliminates the hesitation that comes from uncertainty and allows them to speak with genuine conviction. Body language and tone are essential components of asking with certainty. The wealthy maintain steady eye contact, speak at a measured pace, and use deliberate gestures that reinforce their message. They don't rush through their requests or apologize for making them. Their physical presence communicates the same certainty as their words. Perhaps most importantly, the wealthy understand that asking with certainty requires practice. They start with small requests and gradually work their way up to larger ones, building their confidence through experience. Each successful ask reinforces their certainty, creating a positive cycle that makes subsequent requests easier. The art of asking with certainty also involves knowing what not to do. The wealthy avoid hedging language, unnecessary qualifiers, and apologetic preambles. They don't minimize their requests or provide easy outs for the other party. Instead, they state their desires clearly and directly, then maintain composed silence while awaiting the response. This approach to asking transforms the entire dynamic of personal and professional relationships. When you ask with certainty, you command respect and attention. You signal to others that you value your own time and requests, which in turn leads them to value them as well. The wealthy have learned that certainty in asking isn't just about getting what you want. It's about establishing yourself as someone whose requests merit serious consideration. Lesson 2. They negotiate everything, silently and powerfully. The most successful people understand that every interaction is a negotiation, but they rarely call it that. They recognize that traditional confrontational bargaining often creates resistance and damages relationships. Instead, they employ a subtle art of continuous negotiation that shapes circumstances in their favor while maintaining harmony and goodwill. These masters of silent negotiation begin by observing the baseline behaviors and patterns of those around them. They pay attention to how people make decisions, what they value most, and what motivates their choices. This intelligence gathering happens naturally through everyday interactions, creating a mental database of insights that can be leveraged without ever entering a formal negotiation. The wealthy and successful approach each interaction with a clear understanding of their desired outcome, but they rarely state it directly. Instead, they create environments and circumstances that naturally lead others toward their preferred conclusion. They might arrange meetings in locations that put others at ease, time their proposals to align with the recipient's peak decision-making hours, or structure conversations to highlight mutual benefits without explicitly discussing them. This invisible negotiation extends beyond business dealings into every aspect of life. Whether booking a hotel room, purchasing a vehicle, or simply ordering at a restaurant, these people constantly seek ways to improve their position. They accomplish this through strategic questions, careful listening, and the strategic use of silence. When others speak, they pay attention not just to words, but to tone, tempo, and subtle shifts in energy that reveal underlying motivations and concerns. The power of silence becomes their greatest tool. While others rush to fill uncomfortable pauses with words, these negotiators understand that silence creates space for others to reflect, reconsider, and often improve their offers without prompting. They master the art of the comfortable pause, using it to build tension that works in their favor. This technique proves particularly effective when receiving initial offers or proposals. Their measured silence often leads others to volunteer better terms without any direct request. These skilled negotiators also understand the power of indirect communication. Rather than making explicit demands, they might share relevant stories, reference similar situations, or ask thoughtful questions that lead others to propose solutions aligned with their objectives. They know that ideas accepted voluntarily are embraced more enthusiastically than those that are forcefully negotiated. Perhaps most importantly, they recognize that the best negotiations often happen long before any formal discussion begins. They build relationships, establish credibility, and demonstrate value consistently over time. When opportunities arise, they've already created a foundation of trust and reciprocity that naturally leads to favorable outcomes. This approach transforms negotiation from a series of isolated events into a continuous flow of mutual benefit. The true art lies in making these negotiations invisible, so subtle that others never feel they're being negotiated with at all. This requires patience, emotional intelligence, and a genuine commitment to creating win-win situations. These people understand that the most powerful negotiations don't feel like negotiations at all. They feel like natural conclusions reached through mutual understanding and respect. By mastering this approach, they transform potential adversaries into allies and convert challenging situations into opportunities for mutual gain. Their success comes not from aggressive bargaining tactics, but from creating an environment where others naturally choose to give them what they want. This is the essence of silent power, the ability to achieve desired outcomes while strengthening rather than straining relationships. Lesson 3. They build invisible influence before making moves. True power rarely announces itself. The most influential people understand that real authority is built in the shadows, carefully cultivated through strategic relationships and quiet competence long before any significant moves are made. This invisible influence becomes the foundation upon which every major achievement is built. The process begins with understanding that influence is a form of relationship currency. Every interaction, no matter how small, is an opportunity to deposit into this account. Smart players recognize that seemingly insignificant moment, remembering someone's preference for afternoon meetings, noting a colleague's child's name, or acknowledging a personal achievement, regurgitates threads of connection that weave into a strong fabric of influence over time. Consider how successful leaders operate in new environments. They don't immediately assert their authority or push for changes. Instead, they spend time observing the ecosystem, identifying key decision-makers, and understanding the unofficial power structures that exist beneath the surface. They recognize that formal titles often matter less than the hidden networks of influence that truly drive organizations and opportunities. This approach requires patience and strategic thinking. Each relationship must be cultivated authentically, with genuine interest and value exchange. The goal isn't to collect superficial connections, but to build a web of deep, trusted relationships that can be activated when needed. This means investing time in understanding others' motivations, challenges, and aspirations that becomes invaluable when aligning interests later. The most skilled practitioners of invisible influence understand the power of becoming indispensable without seeking recognition. They create situations where their input becomes essential, their presence valuable, and their absence noticed. This might mean developing unique expertise, becoming a reliable source of useful information, or positioning themselves at critical intersections of communication and decision-making. Trust becomes the cornerstone of this influence. It's built through consistent demonstration of competence, reliability, and discretion. The wealthy and successful know that trust is earned in drops but lost in buckets, so they guard it carefully. They never exploit relationships purely for personal gain, understanding that sustainable influence requires maintaining a delicate balance of mutual benefit. Mapping these relationships becomes a crucial skill. Like a chess master thinking several moves ahead, those who master invisible influence understand how different relationships connect and interact. They can anticipate how moving one piece might affect the entire board. This strategic awareness allows them to navigate complex situations with precision, knowing exactly which relationships to leverage for specific outcomes. The real art lies in maintaining this influence network without appearing to do so. It's about being present in others' minds without being physically present, staying relevant without being obvious, and remaining connected without being clingy. This requires a sophisticated understanding of timing and touch, knowing when to engage, when to step back, and how to maintain relationships with minimal active maintenance. This invisible influence becomes particularly powerful during times of opportunity or crisis. When others scramble to build relationships they suddenly need, those who have invested in their influence network can activate it smoothly and effectively. Their requests are met with enthusiasm because they're built on a foundation of trust and mutual benefit established long ago. The true masters of this principle understand that invisible influence isn't about manipulation or control. It's about creating a network of genuine relationships that naturally want to support your success. When done correctly, this approach creates a self-reinforcing cycle where your influence grows organically through the positive experiences and outcomes you help create for others. Lesson 4. They use time as leverage, not a limit. Time is the great equalizer. We all have the same 24 hours each day. Yet some people seem to accomplish exponentially more than others, not because they work harder or faster, but because they understand time's true nature as a tool rather than a constraint. The wealthy and successful have discovered that time itself can be wielded as a powerful form of leverage. Consider how most people approach time. They see it as a finite resource that's constantly depleting, creating anxiety and rushed decisions. This scarcity mindset leads to accepting suboptimal terms, jumping at premature opportunities, and making compromises that could have been avoided with strategic patience. The wealthy flip this paradigm. They recognize that time can work for them rather than against them. When negotiating deals or pursuing opportunities, successful people understand the power of strategic delays. They know that urgency usually benefits the other party, while patience maintains their leverage. By deliberately slowing down processes when others want to rush, they create space for better terms to emerge. This isn't about procrastination, but rather about controlling the tempo of interactions to their advantage. The wealthy also grasp that time can be used to build value and create scarcity. Rather than immediately launching products or services, they often let anticipation build. They understand that perceived value often increases with thoughtful timing. This principle applies equally to personal branding. Strategic absence can create more impact than constant presence. One of the most powerful ways successful people leverage time is through parallel processing. Instead of tackling opportunities sequentially, they set multiple ventures in motion simultaneously. While others see this as waiting, they're actually allowing multiple possibilities to mature independently. This approach creates options and reduces dependency on any single outcome. Time arbitrage represents another crucial strategy. The wealthy identify opportunities where they can profit from others' short-term thinking or urgent needs. They maintain cash reserves and remain emotionally detached, ready to act when others must sell quickly or accept unfavorable terms due to time pressure. This patience transforms time from a constraint into a competitive advantage. Successful people also understand the compound effect of time on relationships and reputation. They invest in long-term relationship building when others seek quick wins. They know that trust and credibility accumulated over time create opportunities that money alone cannot buy. This patient approach to relationship capital often yields exponential returns. The mastery of time extends to personal development as well. Rather than rushing to achieve everything at once, the wealthy take time to develop deep expertise in their chosen domains. They understand that true mastery requires dedicated periods of learning and growth, often away from the spotlight. This investment of time creates sustainable advantages that can't be easily replicated. Perhaps most importantly, successful people recognize that time is not linear in its impact. They understand that the right action at the right moment can accomplish more than years of poorly timed effort. This wisdom leads them to focus not just on what to do, but when to do it. They develop an intuitive sense of timing that makes their actions more effective and efficient. The wealthy approach time as an ally rather than an enemy. They use it to create pressure or relief, to build value or reduce it, to strengthen their position or weaken others. By reframing time as a form of leverage rather than a limiting factor, they transform one of life's most fundamental constraints into a powerful tool for achieving their goals. Lesson 5. They never show all their cards. The most successful people understand that information is power, and they treat it as their most valuable currency. Like expert poker players, they recognize that revealing too much can eliminate their advantage and diminish their ability to navigate complex situations effectively. This principle extends far beyond simple discretion. It's about strategic information management that creates leverage in every interaction. Consider how often people diminish their position by oversharing. In negotiations, relationships, and business dealings, those who immediately lay all their cards on the table often find themselves at a disadvantage. The wealthy and successful understand that maintaining a certain level of mystery allows them to retain control and create intrigue. They share enough to build trust and demonstrate competence, but hold back crucial elements that maintain their negotiating power. This approach manifests in various ways. During job interviews, skilled candidates reveal their capabilities progressively, rather than exhausting their achievements in the first meeting. In business deals, experienced entrepreneurs discuss possibilities while keeping their true bottom line private. Even in social situations, those who master this principle understand that selective sharing creates more engaging conversations and deeper connections than immediate full disclosure. The art of holding cards close involves understanding the difference between secrecy and strategic revelation. It's not about being deceptive. Rather, it's about recognizing that timing and context matter in information sharing. Successful people carefully evaluate when revealing certain information will provide maximum benefit and when it might undermine their position. They develop an intuitive sense for the right moment to play each card they hold. This principle extends to personal capabilities and resources as well. Those who achieve remarkable success often have multiple skills, connections, or assets that they don't advertise. They understand that surprise capabilities can become powerful tools when revealed at the right moment. This creates a perception of depth and competence that extends beyond what's immediately visible, leading others to assume there's always more beneath the surface. Information control also involves understanding the power of silence. When others make assumptions or statements, skilled practitioners resist the urge to correct or clarify unless doing so serves their interests. They know that allowing others to operate under certain assumptions can sometimes be more advantageous than revealing the complete truth. This doesn't mean being dishonest, it means being strategic about when and how to share information. The practice requires developing comfort with ambiguity. While others rush to clarify every detail, successful people maintain their position by accepting that not everything needs to be explained immediately. They understand that the space created by uncertainty often works in their favor, allowing them to maintain flexibility and adapt to changing circumstances without being bound by previous declarations. Perhaps most importantly, this approach creates a foundation for long-term success by establishing a reputation for depth and capability. When people know you never show all your cards, they tend to approach interactions with more respect and consideration. They recognize that what they see is likely only a fraction of what you bring to the table, leading them to engage more thoughtfully and offer better terms in negotiations. This strategic approach to information sharing becomes particularly powerful when combined with genuine value creation. By carefully controlling the flow of information while consistently delivering results, successful people create a compelling narrative that suggests their visible achievements are merely the tip of the iceberg. This perception becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, opening doors to increasingly valuable opportunities and relationships. Lesson 6. They master body language before speaking. The most powerful conversations often happen without words. While many focus on crafting the perfect pitch or memorizing clever responses, truly successful people understand that their physical presence speaks volumes before they utter a single word. This mastery of nonverbal communication creates an immediate advantage in any interaction, whether in a boardroom, networking event, or casual meeting. Your body tells a story about your internal state, your confidence level, and your perceived authority. When you enter a room, others unconsciously read and interpret your nonverbal cues within milliseconds. These snap judgments form the foundation of how others will interact with you and, more importantly, how seriously they'll take your words when you finally speak. The wealthy and successful have learned to harness this primitive communication system to their advantage. Power positioning begins with spatial awareness. Notice how influential people naturally command space without appearing aggressive. They stand with their feet shoulder-width apart, take up appropriate room, and move with deliberate grace. This isn't about dominating space, but rather owning your place within it. When seated, they lean slightly back rather than forward, demonstrating comfort with their position and subtle control of the interaction. Facial expressions carry extraordinary weight in human communication. Micro-expressions, those fleeting facial movements that last fractions of a second, reveal true emotions and intentions. Successful people train themselves to both control their own micro-expressions and read others. They maintain appropriate eye contact without staring, smile genuinely when warranted, and keep their facial muscles relaxed yet engaged. This projects both warmth and confidence, a powerful combination that builds trust and authority. The hands tell their own story. Confident people keep their hands visible and use purposeful gestures that emphasize points without appearing theatrical. They avoid self-soothing behaviors like touching their face or neck, playing with objects, or fidgeting. These seemingly minor adjustments signal self-assurance and credibility to others on a subconscious level. Posture serves as a physical manifestation of internal power. The wealthy understand that a straight spine, relaxed shoulders, and an open chest aren't just good for physical health, they're essential for projecting authority. This doesn't mean adopting rigid military bearing. Rather, it's about finding a natural, aligned position that communicates both strength and accessibility. The art of mirroring deserves special attention. Successful people instinctively match the body language of others in subtle ways to build rapport and trust. This isn't about obvious mimicry, but rather about creating a sense of harmony in physical communication. When done correctly, mirroring creates an unconscious bond that makes others more receptive to your ideas and presence. Breathing patterns influence both your physiological state and how others perceive you. Those who master body language learn to control their breathing, keeping it steady and deep even in high-pressure situations. This regulated breathing maintains composure, and particularly when others are agitated or uncertain. The most sophisticated practitioners of body language mastery understand that different cultural contexts require different nonverbal approaches. They adapt their physical presence to match the environment while maintaining their core authority. This flexibility allows them to command respect across various settings without appearing out of place or offensive to local customs. Your physical presence is a tool that, when properly wielded, can open doors, build trust, and create opportunities before you engage in verbal communication. The wealthy and successful invest time in developing this awareness because they understand that body language fluency is not just an advantage, it's a prerequisite for operating at the highest levels of influence and achievement. Lesson 7. They give value before taking anything. The most successful people understand a fundamental truth that eludes most. Genuine wealth flows from what you give, not what you take. This principle runs counter to basic human instinct, which often pushes us to gather and hoard resources. Yet those who have mastered the art of strategic giving know it creates an unstoppable cycle of abundance. Consider how nature itself operates on this principle. A tree must first extend its roots deep into the soil, providing nutrients and stability to the surrounding ecosystem before it can grow tall and strong. Similarly, the wealthy understand that their success depends on first becoming an invaluable resource to others. They plant seeds of value everywhere they go, knowing that some will flourish into opportunities they couldn't have predicted. This approach manifests in countless ways. A skilled entrepreneur might freely share industry insights at conferences, building a reputation as a thought leader long before launching their next venture. A rising executive might volunteer to handle challenging projects that others avoid, creating a track record of solving complex problems. These people aren't acting from pure altruism. They're strategically positioning themselves as indispensable assets in their networks. The psychology behind this strategy is powerful. When you consistently provide value first, you trigger the deeply ingrained human need for reciprocity. People naturally want to repay those who have helped them, often going above and beyond the original contribution. This creates a network of willing allies who actively look for ways to return the favor, rather than reluctant contacts who feel pressured or manipulated. Value doesn't always mean tangible assets or direct assistance. Sometimes it's as simple as making meaningful introductions between people who could benefit from knowing each other. Other times it's sharing relevant information at precisely the right moment, or offering a unique perspective that helps someone see their challenge in a new light. The key is understanding what constitutes genuine value in your specific context and delivering it consistently. The wealthy also recognize that giving creates compound interest in relationships. Each act of generosity builds upon previous ones, establishing a reputation that opens doors and creates opportunities far exceeding the initial investment of time or resources. This goodwill becomes a form of social capital that appreciates over time, often paying dividends in unexpected ways. This approach requires patience and genuine interest in others' success. Those who give with obvious expectations of immediate return often find their efforts backfire, creating resentment rather than appreciation. The truly successful give authentically while remaining strategic about where they direct their energy and resources. They understand that not every investment will yield returns, but the overall portfolio of good build becomes one of their most valuable assets. Mastering this principle requires a shift in mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of viewing business and life as zero-sum games where one person's gain is another's loss, the wealthy see endless opportunities for mutual benefit. They actively look for ways to expand the pie rather than fighting over existing slices. This perspective allows them to spot opportunities for creating value that others miss entirely. The most sophisticated practitioners of this approach understand that the greatest value often comes from helping others achieve their goals. By aligning their giving with others' ambitions, they create powerful allies who are emotionally invested in their success. This network of mutual support becomes a force multiplier, creating opportunities and opening doors that would be impossible to access alone. Lesson 8. They engineer luck with preparation. The notion that success is purely a product of luck is a misconception that keeps many people stuck in mediocrity. Those who consistently achieve their goals understand that luck is a manufactured commodity, one created through meticulous preparation and strategic positioning. They recognize that fortune favors the prepared mind and deliberately engineer circumstances that increase their probability of success. These people approach opportunity creation as a science, not a game of chance. They study patterns, analyze trends, and position themselves at the intersection of multiple positive possibilities. Like a chess master thinking several moves ahead, they create contingency plans and establish multiple paths to their objectives. This comprehensive preparation allows them to capitalize on unexpected opportunities that others might miss or be unable to leverage. The engineering of luck begins with environmental awareness. Successful people maintain a heightened state of consciousness about their surroundings, industry trends, and the movements of key players in their field. They consume relevant information voraciously, building a mental database that helps them recognize patterns and predict future developments. This awareness allows them to spot potential opportunities long before they become obvious to others. Risk management plays a crucial role in this process. Rather than avoiding risk entirely, these people calculate and mitigate potential downsides while maximizing their exposure to positive randomness. They understand that controlled risk-taking is essential for growth and create safety nets that allow them to take bold action when opportunities arise. This might involve maintaining emergency funds, developing multiple income streams, or cultivating diverse forbidden professional relationships. The concept of strategic redundancy is another vital component of engineered luck. Successful people never rely on a single path to success. They create multiple routes to their goals, understanding that, while some attempts may fail, others will succeed. This approach transforms what others might see as failures into valuable data points that inform future attempts. Each setback becomes a stepping stone, providing crucial information about what works and what doesn't. These people also master the art of rapid iteration. They understand that perfect preparation is impossible, but quick adaptation is invaluable. When an opportunity presents itself, they're ready to act swiftly while maintaining the flexibility to adjust their approach based on real-time feedback. This combination of preparedness and adaptability allows them to maximize favorable circumstances while minimizing the impact of setbacks. Creating luck also involves strategic relationship building. Successful people understand that opportunities often come through other people, so they invest time in building and maintaining a strong network. They position themselves as valuable resources within their communities, making it more likely that others will think of them when opportunities arise. This network becomes a self-sustaining system that generates its own luck through the power of collective intelligence and shared resources. The engineering of luck extends to personal development as well. These people constantly work to improve their skills, knowledge, and capabilities, ensuring they're ready when opportunities arise. They understand that luck is useless without the ability to capitalize on it, so they invest heavily in their own growth and development. This perpetual self-improvement creates a positive feedback loop, where enhanced capabilities lead to more opportunities, which in turn provide resources for further development. Those who master the art of engineering luck also understand the importance of momentum. They know that success breeds success, and they use small wins to create momentum toward larger goals. Each achievement, no matter how minor, is leveraged to create new opportunities and open new doors. This approach transforms luck from a random occurrence into a renewable resource that can be cultivated and expanded over time. Lesson 9. They let others talk first, always. The most powerful people in any room are rarely the ones dominating the conversation. Instead, they possess an almost supernatural ability to draw information, thoughts, and revelations from others while revealing little themselves. This skill, the art of speaking last, is perhaps one of the most undervalued secrets of the ultra-successful. When you let others speak first, you gain immediate tactical advantages. Every word someone utters is intelligence you can use. Their perspectives, biases, knowledge gaps, and emotional states become apparent through their choice of words, tone, and the topics they emphasize or avoid. This information asymmetry creates an invisible power dynamic where you hold more cards than they realize. The psychological impact of speaking last extends beyond mere information gathering. When people are given space to express themselves fully, they feel heard, understood, and respected. This creates an unconscious positive association with you, even though you've revealed very little about yourself. They leave conversations feeling satisfied and enlightened, while you've maintained your position of mystery and strength. This approach also prevents one of the most common mistakes in business and personal interactions: premature disclosure. When you speak first, you risk revealing your position before understanding the complete context. You might inadvertently expose weaknesses, make unnecessary concessions, or miss crucial opportunities that would have become apparent had you waited. The wealthy and powerful understand that patience in conversation is not passive. It's a strategic choice that yields consistent advantages. The practice of letting others speak first requires mastering several subtle skills. You must become adept at using silence as a tool, comfortable with the temporary discomfort that comes with not filling conversational voids. You need to develop the art of asking thoughtful questions that draw out more information while keeping the focus on the other person. Your body language must convey engaged interest without betraying your own thoughts or position. This approach is particularly powerful in negotiations and decision-making scenarios. When others speak first, they often reveal their bottom line, their fears, their desired outcomes, and their negotiating strategy, all valuable information that helps you shape your response optimally. By contrast, those who rush to speak first frequently find themselves at a disadvantage, having shown their hand too early in the game. The discipline of speaking last also forces you to become a better listener, not just hearing words, but truly understanding the layers of meaning beneath them. You begin to pick up on subtle cues, hesitations, emotional shifts, unspoken concerns that others miss in their rush to be heard. This deeper understanding of human nature becomes an invaluable tool in all areas of life. In group settings, this principle becomes even more powerful. While others compete for airtime, each trying to prove their worth, the person who speaks last often delivers the decisive perspective that synthesizes or redirects the entire discussion. This position of power comes not from dominating the conversation, but from understanding its full context before contributing. The wealthy and successful also understand that letting others speak first is not about being passive or submissive. It's about exercising control through strategic patience. When you do speak, your words carry more weight because they're built on a complete understanding of the situation. You're not reacting to partial information or emotional impulses. You're responding with full awareness and purpose. The habit of speaking last transforms not just your conversations, but your entire approach to human interaction. It shifts you from a position of seeking validation through speech to one of gathering power through strategic silence. In a world where everyone is eager to be heard, the ability to listen and speak last becomes a rare and valuable differentiator that consistently creates advantages in both business and personal relationships. Lesson 10. They build doors instead of waiting for them. The most successful people understand that opportunities aren't simply discovered, they're engineered. While others wait patiently for doors to open, the truly accomplished are busy constructing their own entrances to success. This fundamental shift in approach distinguishes those who achieve extraordinary results from those who settle for ordinary outcomes. Building doors begins with identifying gaps in existing systems, markets, or relationships. These gaps represent unmet needs or unexploited possibilities that others have overlooked or dismissed as too challenging. Where most see obstacles, door builders see architectural plans for new pathways. They recognize that every established institution, business, or social structure has weak points, places where innovation or reimagination could create breakthrough opportunities. The process requires a unique combination of vision and pragmatism. Door builders don't just dream up possibilities, they meticulously analyze the structural components needed to transform concepts into reality. They study the materials available to them, their skills, resources, connections, and knowledge, and determine how to arrange these elements into a viable entry point. This might mean developing new skills, forging strategic alliances, or creating novel solutions to long-standing problems. Critical to this approach is the understanding that door building often happens in parallel with existing pursuits. Rather than abandoning current positions or responsibilities, successful people construct new opportunities while maintaining their present commitments. They recognize that stability in one area provides the foundation for expansion in another. This parallel processing allows them to minimize risk while maximizing potential upside. The art of door building also involves creating value for others. The most durable doors are those that not only serve the builder's interests, but also benefit those on the other side. This might mean solving problems for potential clients, filling market gaps for consumers, or creating new possibilities for collaborators. When your door represents a solution to someone else's challenge, they're more likely to welcome your entrance. Timing plays a crucial role in successful door building. The most effective builders understand market cycles, industry trends, and human psychology well enough to anticipate where opportunities will emerge before they become obvious to others. They position their doors not where the action is today, but where it will be tomorrow. This foresight allows them to establish footholds in emerging spaces before competition intensifies. Door builders also master the art of progressive construction. Rather than attempting to build grand entrances immediately, they often start with small openings, pilot projects, test runs, or limited engagements that can be expanded as proof of concept is established. This incremental approach allows for adjustment based on feedback and minimizes the resources required for initial implementation. Perhaps most importantly, successful door builders maintain multiple projects simultaneously. They recognize that not every door will open to success, so they develop several potential pathways concurrently. This portfolio approach to opportunity creation ensures that setbacks in one area don't halt overall progress. When one door proves unviable, they can redirect energy to more promising alternatives. The psychological advantage of being a door builder cannot be overstated. While others experience anxiety waiting for opportunities to appear, builders maintain a sense of agency and control over their destiny. They know that their success isn't dependent on chance or the decisions of others. This mindset creates resilience in the face of rejection and maintains momentum through challenging periods. Door building ultimately represents a proactive philosophy toward life and success. It embodies the understanding that the most reliable path to achievement is one you construct yourself. By developing the skills, mindset, and habits of a door builder, you position yourself to create opportunities rather than wait for them to appear. Lesson 11. The most profound transformations happen in isolation. Like a caterpillar entering its cocoon, successful people understand the critical importance of strategic disappearance, not as an escape, but as a catalyst for exponential growth. This temporary withdrawal from the usual social and professional circles serves as an incubation period for revolutionary personal development. The wealthy and successful have mastered the art of these calculated retreats. They recognize when their current environment, relationships, or circumstances have served their purpose and now threaten to become limiting factors. Instead of gradually drifting away or making dramatic announcements, they orchestrate quiet exits that preserve relationships while creating the space needed for metamorphosis. This strategic disappearance takes many forms. Sometimes it's physical, relocating to a new city or country where old patterns and expectations can't follow. Other times it's social, reducing visibility in certain circles while building new connections in alignment with future goals. The most powerful disappearances are often mental, creating psychological distance from outdated thinking patterns and beliefs that no longer serve their evolution. During these periods of intentional absence, successful people focus intensely on personal development, skill acquisition, and strategic planning. They use this time to rebuild themselves from the ground up, free from the distractions and energy drains of maintaining appearances or managing others' expectations. This is when they read voraciously, seek out mentors, experiment with new approaches, and fail forward without an audience. The timing of these disappearances is crucial. The wealthy have learned to recognize the signals that indicate it's time to step away, when growth feels stagnant, when conversations become repetitive, when opportunities seem limited, or when they find themselves being the smartest person in the room too often. They don't wait for crisis or burnout to force their hand. They preemptively create space for their next evolution. This practice requires tremendous discipline and confidence. It means saying no to immediate opportunities, declining invitations, and sometimes appearing antisocial or aloof. It means trusting that the short-term social or professional costs will be outweighed by the long-term benefits of focused development. The wealthy understand that every major leap forward requires a period of preparation in the shadows. The return from these strategic disappearances is equally important. When successful people re-emerge, they do so with new capabilities, expanded perspectives, and enhanced value to offer. They don't explain or apologize for their absence. They let their transformation speak for itself. This pattern of withdrawal and return becomes a natural rhythm in their journey, each cycle elevating them to new levels of achievement and influence. These periods of intentional isolation also serve to create mystique and scarcity around their presence. When they do engage, their interactions carry more weight and impact. People learn to value their time and attention more highly because it's not constantly available. This selective availability becomes a form of power in itself, allowing them to operate more effectively when they choose to be present. The wealthy treat these disappearances as investments in themselves, not unlike how they would approach any other high-return opportunity. They understand that the highest form of leverage is personal transformation, and sometimes that requires stepping away from the very relationships and circumstances that help them reach their current level. It's a paradox they've learned to embrace. The path to greater connection and impact often begins with strategic disconnection and focus. Lesson 12. They never compete, only dominate in their niche. The wealthiest and most successful people understand a fundamental truth that escapes most people. Direct competition is often a losing game. Instead of entering crowded markets and fighting for scraps, they create and constitute unique spaces where they can set the rules and control the game entirely. This approach begins with the recognition that true wealth creation rarely comes from doing what everyone else is doing, but rather from identifying or creating underserved markets and becoming the undisputed authority within them. The wealthy don't aim to be better, they aim to be different. They seek out blue oceans, untapped market spaces, where competition is irrelevant because no one else is operating there. Consider how Apple transformed the mobile phone industry. They didn't try to compete with Nokia or Motorola on their terms. Instead, they created an entirely new category of device that merged communication, entertainment, and computing. By doing so, they just captured market share. They created an entirely new market they could dominate. The process of establishing such dominance starts with deep specialization. The wealthy understand that expertise in a narrow field is far more valuable than general knowledge in many areas. They invest thousands of hours becoming the foremost authority in their chosen niche, developing unique insights and capabilities that others cannot easily replicate. This depth of knowledge allows them to see opportunities others miss and to solve problems in ways others cannot conceive. Creating a dominant position also requires building strong barriers to entry. The wealthy establish systems, relationships, and intellectual property that make it difficult for others to compete effectively. They secure key partnerships, patent crucial technologies, build strong brand recognition, and create network effects that lock in their advantage. These moats protect their position and allow them to maintain high profit margins without constant competitive pressure. The mindset of domination extends beyond business strategy into personal branding and positioning. The wealthy carefully craft their image and reputation to be synonymous with their niche. They become the go-to expert, the trusted advisor, the indispensable resource. When people think of their particular field, they want their name to be the first that comes to mind. This approach also involves strategic timing. The wealthy don't rush to market with half-formed ideas or me-too products. They take the time to develop truly innovative solutions and wait for the perfect moment to launch. When they do enter a market, they do so with overwhelming force, deploying their full arsenal of relationships and capabilities to establish immediate dominance. The wealthy also understand that domination doesn't mean serving everyone. They often deliberately choose to focus on specific segments of the market where they can provide exceptional value and command premium prices. They are willing to ignore large portions of the market to maintain their position of strength in their chosen niche. The pursuit of domination requires constant innovation and evolution. The wealthy never rest on their laurels or become complacent in their success. They continuously scan the horizon for new opportunities and threats, adapting their approach as markets and technologies change. They invest heavily in research and development, seeking ways to extend their lead and explore adjacent opportunities for expansion. By focusing on domination rather than competition, the wealthy create sustainable advantages that generate long-term wealth. They build businesses and careers that are resistant to economic cycles and competitive pressures. This approach allows them to set their own terms, command premium prices, and maintain high margins